Welcome back to the channel. I'm trying to use this video to talk more about what I talked about in my Australia-England review, because I've kind of read a few articles on the BBC that have kind of pointed at the tactical issues for England and how they are an issue. And going through these articles here, the first one is review of England's defeat by Australia, brutal. Borthwick's England face battle to keep fans on side. A fireworks display of frailties? England is exposed in agonising loss. And the articles, they're okay, like they talk about a lot of the issues that I'm talking about, but I think what you need to look at here is the comments section. One of the top comments here is, I'll read it out loud and I'll put it on the screen. Borthwick was a loser as a player and a loser as a manager. His game strategy is reliant on a dominant pack, which we don't have, and kicking for territory, which is boring for fans. His selections are odd and in-game decisions are predetermined. Obviously his management style is poor, given the coaching turnover, and he's a terrible communicator. Borthwick is at best a forwards coach. Now that is the top comment on this Steve Borthwick article out of the three that we've got here. And this is what I'm talking about. Not necessarily that this is correct or I believe in this, but the fans, England in general, are calling for blood here. Like, England are on the brink. They needed that Australia win like nobody's business, and they didn't get it. And it's going to be putting a massive amount of pressure on this England game against the Springboks at Twickenham this weekend. I do think the atmosphere will be different. As I said in my game review video, generally Twickenham turns up for the big occasions where they see them as big competitors. I don't think Australia was seen as that beforehand. Boy, was that a mistake. But I definitely think it will make a difference, and I think England will definitely be up for it. But reading into these articles and reading the fans' reaction, like, England need to win next weekend. I don't think there is a moral victory that can happen. I don't think there is progression. You know, we can't be talking about, oh, we made great progress and we lose by 10 points, or even lose by 3 points, or lose at all. I think England need to win next weekend to calm a lot of these concerns that the fans have, that pundits have. Everyone's talking about this now. Unless England win against South Africa at the weekend, I don't see this going away. Obviously, the Japan game, I don't think really quells anything. I think if you lose to South Africa and you blow Japan out of the water, it does nothing. You've then got a long period of time from the end of the Autumn Nations through to the Six Nations, where there's a lot of rumination. And then going into the Six Nations, I honestly think Borthwick's got a leash of about 2 games to bring it back together, and he could be out. I don't think that's the right decision. I'm a believer in Borthwick, but I just wanted to kind of show how the media pressure is starting, how they dug themselves into a hole with bad decision-making at coaching for 2 games in a row. And I think it's really hit home with this press conference that Borthwick did at the end of the game. Now, I can't take full credit for realising this myself. I listened to the Rugby pod with Andy Good and Jim Hamilton, and they kind of pointed out, Andy specifically, Borthwick was more saying the players didn't follow a system rather than the system didn't work, and it was the same as last weekend's press conference. This is not good. I think anybody and his dog is watching this, and I'm not talking about the average fan like me that knows F all, you know. These are ex-players that are saying the coaching's letting them down. When you're bringing on George Ford, who's not been in there for 6 weeks to try and close out a game, bad coaching. It's the decision-making of the coaching that's not working. I don't know, it just doesn't, it screams like not taking responsibility for the decisions that you're making within the squad. You know, I would just hold it in such a higher regard if Borthwick just took it on himself and said the tactics didn't work. And you know what, if he maybe have done that at the end of the New Zealand game, he might have had a bit of self-reflection to realise we can't do that against Australia, but they did the same thing and they lost the game again. So, really interesting weekend. And early predictions, I don't see anything else happening other than England getting completely blown out. It was obvious from South Africa's choice of the team they played against Scotland, they were reserving a lot of their big boys, a lot of their top players for this England game. They were trying to keep them on the bench, limit their minutes. Rassie Erasmus said as much in his press conferences as well. So South Africa come in with the big guns, and you, England, us, don't know if we're prepared for it. Having said this, if England turn it around and have a big performance and they win, I think it changes everything. I think it changes everything for England, and it qualms a lot of this stuff. It qualms it for about 2 or 3 games into the Six Nations, but at least you don't have like 3 or 4 months of just people talking saying, is this the right direction? Anyway, short and sweet video. I'll leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments, but I thought it was worth making a video about talking about something that I recognised in that review video. I'll see you in the next